Hey, it's Joe. Got another question here. This one is from Phil Condalero. Phil says, my question is, I work for an independent retirement company. I deal with a lot of people who are in their 80s and above and sometimes have to sell their home that they own. Is there a way that someone could offer to buy their home and say give them $1,200 to $1,500 a month, put the house in the other person's name so they physically own the house outright? With the stipulation that if the money isn't paid, the house goes back into the original owner's name. Well, absolutely. Now, I don't know about the pricing. It depends on the value of the house, depends on what market rent is in the neighborhood, depends on what the payment on a property like that would be based on its value. And it also will be determined by whether or not they have a mortgage on that property. If they have a mortgage on the property, then you can use some of the zero-down structures like Subject 2 or multi-mortgage, or of course you can use land contract and lease options as well. If you understand the hierarchy of zero-down structures that I teach and when to use what type of structure, then it'll make this all very easy, and you can just go and make these offers to these people that'll make sense. Now, if they own the property free and clear, then it's called purchase money mortgage if you're buying the property. If you're just doing an assignment, you can also set it up as an assignment so that they sell it to somebody else on land contract, and it'll protect the seller. You have to make sure you're protecting the right person in the transaction. If the seller is the one that's most at risk, you want to protect that person. The first person you protect in any transaction is yourself. You know that you are the most ethical person in the room, that you're going to do the right thing, that you're going to treat people correctly. So you want to be, you want to have the most control in that transaction. So you always set up these deals, and that's why I created the deal hierarchy. You always want to set up these deals so that you have the most control in the deal, and that the property can't be taken away from you if you put your work and time and sweat into making a profit out of that deal. On the other hand, if you're doing a simple assignment where you're flipping the deal, where you're taking control of the property, becoming a principal in the transaction, and then assigning your right or selling your right to buy to a third party, then you want to protect the person who's most vulnerable in the transaction. Usually that's the seller. If the seller has a mortgage on that property or has equity in that property, you want them to be able to get that property back if the buyer defaults. On the other hand, if the seller is at risk of losing that property, they're still making their payments on time, but you know that they're in financial difficulties, you want to do more to protect your buyer in the transaction and even it out a little bit so it's not so one-sided on who's in control. And that's why I've created the deal hierarchy, which I teach in the push-button method, I teach in my mentor program, and I've talked a lot about on these videos as well. So if you'll go back and listen to some of the other free videos that I give away, I think you'll be able to structure these deals. All right, good luck with it. That's a good market to be working in, so I hope you put some deals together. Thanks.